Okay, hey you guys, is that better? You can hear me? I'm just talking away. I thought I hit the unmute button, and apparently I did not. Welcome. It is another Wednesday, a Wellness Wednesday, and we are about to talk to two of my sweet friends. They're going to talk to you about basically Stressmas. I cannot believe that Christmas is in 2 weeks. So get those packages wrapped, you guys. Bought all mine. I just haven't wrapped them all. So I got to get busy with that. So this time of year it has so many different emotions for so many different people. People lost a loved one. Um, um, Having to travel, work stresses, family stresses, money stresses. There's so many reasons why this time of the year that it's a lot more stressful for us. And so, first of all, we should be aware of that with other people and to be kind and to be just aware of what they're going through, because sometimes people are just, it's so much fun. It's the holidays and some people are really struggling, for their different reasons. And so just to bring awareness to that, I think is important as well. So, however, a lot of us go through anxiety and depression this time of the year, and it's about to start having that tunnel vision, because Christmas is so close. And so I wanted to read just a couple of things before I start talking to my friends here. It said that anxiety can be, even though it's tough to deal with, and this is something that I've really had to, even on a spiritual level, but also an emotional level, to say that our goal is never to eliminate all forms of anxiety. Why is that? One, anxiety and stress can help us to remember our need for the Lord to help guide us through certain situations like that. But also it says that we benefit from some moderate levels of anxiety and stress because it helps us stay motivated with our goals. Trying to reach goals can be stressful, but if it's a good goal, that can be a good stress. In nursing school, they taught us about eustress, which is eustress, which is good stress. So studying for a big exam, going through school, having a baby, moving, changing jobs. These are all good stresses, but they're still stresses. So it says if our anxiety levels were too low, we wouldn't be motivated to get anything accomplished. I kind of agree with that a little bit. It says resisting our fears and anxiety doesn't make them go away, which is true. Trying to avoid them and pretend they're not there does not make them go away. So avoiding our troubles only adds to the stress and anxiety. So this is why we need a logical root addressing plan to move us from our fear-based center into a positive center that sets us free. So hopefully that made sense to you guys. I am learning through my health journey with Plexus and just getting older, and my kids getting older and just going through new phases in life, that not everything's going to be rosy and a cakewalk, and that's okay. As we learn more about ourselves and about others around us, and as we learn more to trust in the Lord, that can always produce good fruit and be a good thing. We just have to figure out how to move through it. I'm very careful not to say getting around something, or getting over something, getting over a death, getting over being fired, getting over, certain things. I have learned to really sit in getting through something so you can learn as you're going. So you go over to go around it. I want to make sure that I'm learning while I'm here, right? So I try to remember that. So, okay. My first sweet friends are talking about stress and how we deal with it and getting to the root issues of some of our stress. Could it be health related? So how can we address that? What are some ways that have worked for us that we can address root issues of some stress and anxiety and depression? So my first sweet friend is Sarah, and we are going to chat just a second. Okay, so sweet Sarah, first of all, you have a big event coming up soon. What you got cooking in your oven these days?
A little baby coming. Probably not a big baby, a little baby though. I seem to have really big babies, but I'm having my third baby in January.
That is so exciting. What's the due date?
January 30th. Although I feel
Oh,
like
how fun. Do you
when I
think
go
you'll go
like
early?
no, my babies are always late and very large.
They like where they are. You provide such a wonderful house for them, a home for them. So they love it. I don't blame them. All right. So you talk about some stress. Sweet Sarah, she's going to have three. And how old's your oldest?
So my oldest is 5, and then I have a 2-year-old as well.
So you'll have 3, 5, and under. My mom had the
Yeah,
same.
all boys, yes. Yeah.
All boys. Oh, but your
Yeah.
boys seem so sweet. So hopefully this one will be sweet too. So I'm a third born, and I tell you, we just beat to our own drums sometimes. So sometimes it's not a bad thing. So we're so excited for you, and congratulations in advance on that. That is so much fun. So y'all are just gonna have so much fun. Okay. So my first question, that is a eustress, having another baby. It's a good stress, but it's still kind of, it can be stressful. So we want to know how this new sweet little baby can continue to be a eustress for you and not a source of bad stress. So we're going to talk about that. So I want to ask you a few questions. And my first question is, what were some physical and emotional symptoms that you had when you experienced your anxiety and your stress? So what were some physical signs that you used to have?
So for me, anxiety really wasn't something that was really in my story at all until my second baby. But before that, moodiness has always been something. Moodiness and stress always been something I dealt with, and I just had this like I don't know even know how to explain it one, but it's almost like this unrest that you have this feeling inside of you, and you like know you're in this funk, and you know feeling moody, and you're taking it out on people that you love the most, and you're like, but it's you feel like it's kind of out of control and like you can't control it. And so those were some of the symptoms. Just had this like it just did not feel good. Like I didn't feel at peace inside. And then after my second son was born, so my first son I did natural. My second son I had to end up going to the hospital because my placenta tore, and so they gave me. I just found this out. Pitocin actually can cause anxiety and depression postpartum for mamas. And I didn't deal with postpartum depression or anxiety with Grayson, but with my second son, I just had this really anxious feeling like someone was going to steal my boys. And I can remember like talking to my husband and crying and just like, no, I'm like, I know this isn't gonna like, I know like, could this happen? Yes. But like, I know the level of anxiety I was feeling about it was not right. And so, I just had, it was like, felt like a lot of fear. And when we would go out, I was like so cautious and it was just kind of consuming. So those are some of the feelings I had and the things that I was dealing with.
Wow, that can be scary for sure. I know a lot of moms, especially new moms or new moms again, can feel that, and hormones are not helping. All the different shifts in hormones, so that's a scary place to be, for sure. So okay, so you were feeling those feelings in. What can you do now if you feel your anxiety start to escalate now? How do you feel more in control?
So a couple of things. One, starting plexus has helped my mood so much. So when I first started, I started with the triplex. And I used to be someone that'd be like, oh, I'm hangry. And like I don't ever really get hangry anymore. Like when you're hungry, angry, whatever, like that doesn't ever happen because I just feel like my levels are just so much more like sustained. And it was kind of just like a very natural, it wasn't like this like overnight one morning I woke up and I just never had a moody day anymore. It just has been a very like natural thing that has happened with plexus that I just feel like when I think about my days all together, like I have way less days that I feel moody and stressful. And then so I added in vital biome after my son Cameron was born. I started dealing with the anxiety. So that helped a lot. And then just recently, so I'm 32 weeks pregnant and I could feel this moodiness coming back. And like, I'm like, all right, I kept praying and I was like, this is not okay. Like I can't handle this. So I just recently went up to 2 vital biome. And this week has been so good. Like I have noticed such a difference with increasing to 2 vital biome. Um, One of the other things that really helped me was Metaburn. I had to stop it once I got pregnant, but I love me some Metaburn because it just helped me so much with my mood. I love Metaburn. And then a couple things like non-plexus things that I do now to help with my when I'm feeling stressed or mood, anxiety, all of that is staying active. I don't know if anyone follows Brooke Hemingway. I try to do her 6 for 6 challenge. And yes, it helps to like stay fit, but like it's so much for my mental health too. It just helps me so much. And when I am feeling, if I'm starting to get in a funk, like getting outside and walking or running or just doing something to change my environment, um, making a grateful list, making like listing down the stuff that I feel that I'm like just thankful for has helped me a lot. If anyone follows Mel Robbins, she talks about brain dump. If you've, she's got like a 2-minute YouTube video that's awesome. And I just never did any of this stuff before Plexus. So even though like it's not an actual supplement that I take with writing, doing a brain dump, like if it wasn't for Plexus, I honestly would never have done any of this personal development stuff on like learning to make a grateful list and learning how to do a brain dump and the 6 or 6 challenge. Like it really has been the thing to change so much stuff. And then just like praying about it, asking the Lord for it to help, help with it. But those are some of the other things that I do besides supplementation. So it's kind of been like for me, supplementation and then personal development, and then the Lord using those things to help me with those when I do struggle.
I actually love that you brought that up, that you use other things besides just Plexus, because I want to remind people anytime that someone starts, or even when someone has been on it for a while and they don't see the results that they're looking for, I always remind them, and I have to remind myself too, that this is an all-encompassing journey. This is not one size fits all, and it's not just one way for you. Not one thing is going to get you to your goal. So I love that you talk about. I mean, and if I hadn't have started Plexus, I would have been on my same. I think I would have been on my same journey. Of course, the last 2 years, I think is. I think a lot of people's mindset, when people are waking up to certain things, I think that maybe that would have happened either way. But I know that for me with Plexus, I don't know that I would have woken up to the true reality of being able to take responsibility for my own health and for my own spiritual health, emotional, physical health, mental health. But I think the same as you. I'm so thankful for Plexus because it has opened up a whole world of a multifaceted, multifunctional world for me, that I'm able to look at all different aspects. And so I love that you mentioned that, because Plexus is a tool, but the community, that it actually helps to open, your mind to look at other avenues of an all-encompassing health journey. So I love that you mentioned that. Thank you. Okay. So Sarah, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say your stress level was before Plexus compared to your stress level now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Okay, so this question made me think of so many different things because I think about the stuff that I used to stress out before Plexus. And it's just kind of crazy to me because like I had so many things that Plexus has helped me with, like health stuff, financial issues, like the personal development stuff that, like I was saying, like I just never would have had if it wasn't for Plexus. So I feel like, oh man, it's hard to put a number to it. But when I think about like maybe like I was like a 7 or 8 and now I'm like a 3, 4. And I think about it more in days. Like I think about like when I think back of like days that I've had where my mood was out of control or my anxiety was like compared to the days I had before I started Plexus, they're just so different. And for me, the Lord has just really used it to heal and using it in so many different ways. And so, yeah, I'm very thankful.
I'm so glad. Hey, listen, anything on the right track is headed in the right direction. Yeah, I think you're doing good. So that's good. I mean, I don't know that anybody should expect a 0 stress level,
Yes.
unless you're like, I don't know, taking too much of something. So that's good. Maybe if you live in Colorado, maybe people there don't have any stress because they're having some medical help there. Okay. So last question, Sarah. Can you visualize the life that you would be leading in 10 years since you were able to take the action towards your dreams and addressing your anxiety? So how has addressing your anxiety and do something about it, how are you able to dream and see yourself differently 10 years from now?
Yeah, I love this question because I never dreamed before Plexus. I didn't realize I wasn't dreaming. I just thought of my life in a box. And I realized that's like not what the Lord wants for us at all. Like, he doesn't want our lives in a box. And so beforehand, just feeling so anxious about money, about finances. I think I was like 20, oh my gosh, 26 when I started Plexus. And so I'd never thought about like long-term health really at that time. I was thinking about more of my like current situation, but even just thinking like the older I get, like now being in my 30s and having babies, like just thinking about the way, like dreaming for us for our future. And then also the way, like thinking now long-term health, like where I want to be when I'm 60 for my kiddos, and knowing that the stuff I'm doing now is helping prevent disease. Like, so, and that's going to impact my family. So just having like, having that peace and knowing that like, you know, my days are, the Lord has my days, but knowing that I'm doing the things to take care of my body for myself and then for my family.
I love that you mentioned that, because so many people think that if we were to start this health journey, that it's just about us, and it's really not. We should all, I think as moms, I think it's either all or nothing. Some people think that it's selfish to think of us as moms, like to focus on our health and our well-being. But I think that it's almost selfish if we don't, to some degree, because what are we able to give to our family? What do they get from us? You know, I remember my husband saying, so as a nurse, you know, I felt like a medical concierge all the time. You know, how can I help you today? And then the next patient, how can I help you today? What can I do to make your life better today? And then the next patient, it's all about you. What can I, you know, so it's like every, you know, patient, you just feel like you just give so much, no matter what's going on in your life. You just, you know, you feel like it's all about them all day. Then when I get home, I don't have much left. And that's not fair to my husband or my family. But also this journey has also, really helped to, like you had mentioned, think about my family's health. You know, I really never thought about the things that I introduce my kids to now, how it would affect them later. But I know that how I grew up, definitely, and what I was fed and what I wasn't fed, and just different things, how it affects me now. And that's the things that I'm having to address, the damage that was done and the mindset, you know. And so, but they didn't know, you know, I always say my parents didn't know what they didn't know. They didn't know. So, but now I know better. So I'm going to do better for my family. So I love that you're able to think about your family's health, and how you can make their childhood better, but also the trajectory of their health for their families better, you know, and teach them good habits. I think it's great. So thank you so much for sharing. And you have such wise words to me to be such a young mom, you know, because I don't feel like I was that wise at your age. So you're way ahead of me. So good for you on that. So, all right. Thanks for sharing. All right, Miss Kim. So, sweet Kim, all cozy in your pullover there. Oh, this looks so cozy. I'm all about cozy. All right, so let's get right to it. All right, so we're gonna ask a personal question. Tell me some of your anxiety triggers.
Well, you know, especially this time of year, trying to get everything done because, you know, you're just so busy and there's such a short time span between Thanksgiving and Christmas and the parties and working full time and trying to get all the gifts purchased and trying to make sure, you know, you're going to visit everybody you need to go visit. And it's a lot, you know, so just the overwhelm of the season usually would trigger my anxiety. And for a long time, I don't know that I realized that that's what my problem was. You know, I just, you know, thought, oh, well, everybody feels this way. It's just the normal Christmas season, you know, but it took the joy out of what the season's supposed to be about. But that was mostly, you know, just feeling overwhelmed or, you know, if things didn't go according to plan, whether it was an actual plan or some fictitious plan that I had in my head of how it should go, would send me just off the deep end, you know, and it's kind of like, where did you come up with this, you know? But those were things that would definitely, prior to Plexus, send me into, you know, just into anxious thoughts, you know.
Which unfortunately, and I think it's just more of a DNA issue. But for us women, we tend to snowball those thoughts into another bad thought and another negative thought and another unhelpful thought. So it's good that you are able to recognize that now. That's definitely, I think, one of the first steps is to recognize this isn't a helpful thought. This isn't um, a healthy thought. So I think that's good to capture that. Okay, so what were some of your physical or emotional symptoms whenever you would experience stress? What were some physical symptoms that you were having, or emotional symptoms that you were having?
Well, usually if I was feeling anxious, then the least little thing would make me just cry, and it might not even be that I was upset, but the tears would just come and I couldn't stop them. I would also, my heart would race some, but the stomach upset was always something, and of course, my gut wasn't healthy either. So it was just, it was a pretty constant issue of just stomach pain and not wanting to leave the house to go do certain things because you just you were uncomfortable, and it was all from just the anxiety. It wasn't anything else. So.
Yeah, for sure. I still have to keep myself in check whenever I cry when I'm stressed. So I have to, where's the stress coming from, and why am I responding like this? Now I can cry, at a CVS commercial. So I do cry very easily. I'm told I'm an empath. And so apparently I don't have to know someone, but if someone else is crying, I'll cry. My family makes fun of me about it. So anyway, yeah, if I'm stressed, I will cry. It's definitely better. I don't feel as out of control about it, but yes, that's definitely one of my symptoms too. So okay, so you're taking Plexus. You decided finally to jump in and try this Plexus thing, and maybe you were thinking, I'm going to try it. I'm going to start for this reason. But this ended up surprising me. It ended up helping me with this. So what did you start Plexus for, and what surprised you after taking a while that it actually helped you with something different?
Well, it's funny because I also started with the triplex. It's just always just a great place to start. And I originally started because I needed to lose some weight. My daughter was about to be a senior in high school, and I was, I knew there was going to be lots of pictures and all of that. So I was like, I've got to get a handle on this weight. I didn't exercise. I didn't eat right, none of that. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this will help. And I have a big sweet tooth, and everybody's like, okay, this will balance your blood sugar, so you'll be good. So I started that, and within a month, I was like, I would come home from work and I would be, doing stuff around the house and cleaning and cooking dinner, and which before I would want to come home and just be lazy on the couch because I didn't want to move. And my husband didn't even really know what I was starting. He saw the package show up and was like, okay, whatever, she's ordered something else. But I started, and then he made a comment. It was probably about a month in. He's like, wow, you really have a lot more energy than you used to have. So I was like, well, okay, well, maybe I'm on to something here, so I was definitely pleasantly surprised with that. But then I also did start noticing that I didn't seem as anxious about things. And then, of course, when Vital Biome came out and, it was supposed to help with anxiety, I knew, well, maybe I just need to try it. And what's funny is I actually tried it and then thought, it's really not doing anything. So I'm going to take that out of my routine. Well, I learned real quick, that was not what needed to happen. So it came back into my routine pretty quickly. And it just takes the edge off of everything, in such a good way. In fact, in such a good way, my husband had retired from his first job and moved on to his second career. And I noticed his stress levels going up. And I said, why don't you just try this? I said, you may not want to keep it in your routine, but just humor me and go ahead and try it. Well, now if we start running low, he's like, do we have another bottle before we run out? So it's helped him with his anxiety. And then my daughter, who works night shift at a hospital, I noticed just her anxiety about night shift work and all of that So I suggested it to her. She was already taking the Plexus supplements too, but I said, I think you might need to add that in. She's like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Well, she also will not go without that product. So it's been such a blessing for our energy levels, for our anxiety. And then, of course, it's helped with the weight loss that I originally started for too. So.
Oh, really? Wow. That's a nice bonus, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's interesting what we think that the differences that we don't think we see until we take it away, what's helping with that. And so to me, that is the biggest belief builder. It definitely is for my husband, because he's now without migraines. And so he also will come to me and say, hey, we got any more of this? Where is it? You know, I said, honey, it's in the cabinet. He doesn't wait for me to bring it to him. He goes right there and he gets it because he's such a believer now. From huge skeptic to huge believer, those are the best stories, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so last question, Ms. Kim. What can you do now if you feel your anxiety escalating? How do you feel more in control?
Well, since starting Plexus, I also, I agree with Sarah about the personal development and things like that I would have never done before. A couple of years ago, I had done a last 90 days challenge, to kind of kickstart your, the gratitude, the exercise, things like that. And when I started that, which, pre-Plexus, I would have never gotten up at 5:30 in the morning to get on the treadmill. But I was like, okay, I'm going to start a routine. And now that is such a big part of really, I think, keeping my anxiety at bay. Is kind of my time. I can, kind of just think through things. I can watch whatever I want to watch on Netflix while I'm walking. It's just, it's become such a vital part of my routine now, that it helps with my anxiety. I walk 30 minutes every day, unless it's just extenuating circumstances. I love to go outside and just get some fresh air and take some deep breaths. Prayer also helps, when I start feeling anxious, but just the taking better care of myself and, moving my body and getting the fresh air has definitely been a big help. So.
I love that you both mentioned doing more than just Plexus. I love that y'all realize how important that it is, that you're encouraging others to do the same, and your children see you and your husband see you, so I think that it's a great ripple effect that we have, that I feel like the Lord has brought Plexus into our lives, just like the Lord can bring jobs into your lives, a job, a 9-to-5 job, how he can bring churches, friends, neighbors, into your life. The Lord can bring these supplements into your life and everything that comes with it. Like I said, the community and just the awareness of, being able to really pay attention and honor our bodies, as the temple of the Lord. And that's something that I just never really respected until about 6 years ago, when I found Plexus. And so, or when Plexus found me. So I love that. I wanted to ask you guys both one more question. Kim, you take one Vital Biome. What time of the day do you take it?
I take it first thing in the morning. As soon as I get up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Sarah, you say you take 2. When do you take
So
yours?
I just started doing that, and I do it first thing in the morning too. I take Ease in the morning and Vital Biome together.
Okay.
First thing every morning when I wake up.
First thing every morning. Okay. I love it. You guys, thank y'all so much. Y'all are just the sweetest. And I really enjoyed talking with you guys. Thank you for sharing your story, because I know that you're making a difference in the lives of others by sharing what these products have done, what this company has done, what the Lord has done in your life. So thank you for sharing. And thanks to all of you guys for coming in for another Wellness Wednesday. So next Wednesday, we are going to meet, but it's actually going to be a fun team Christmas party. So stay tuned for more information about that. And you guys have a great rest of your week. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all again next week. Bye.